Good morning, KNP fam. Hey, this is KNP Kid coming to you live. Well, YouTube live, sort of, kind of, if you want to talk about that. Live from KNP Studios here in Tucson, Arizona. Hey, it's been kind of a rough, week or so. I am just 7 days past my surgery last week on my total knee replacement. Wanted to kind of give a quick little rundown update, how things are going, where we're going to progress with this, and kind of just go really, a little bit from the heart, kind of to tell the story of kind of what happened. So as many of you know, last year I set this goal in January of 2023 that I had to get back in shape. I was tired of being in shape. I was tired of getting fat and getting just miserable, man, just absolutely miserable. The numbers on the scale kept going up, and things just, it just was not good. So January of 2023, I started a fitness journey, and I started off ridiculously slow compared to my old athlete days back in my 30s and 40s when I was running marathons. I'm not even close to that. I'll probably never run again, but that's a whole nother story. So, I just hopped on the treadmill one day, and from there, I took it up and, started, it was 10 minutes, and 10 minutes was hard. And then from there, we got up to 30 minutes, and then 40, and then next thing you know, you're walking for an hour. And I did this every single day for 4 or 5 straight months. And then I got to the point where it was time to take the next step in this journey and get back into lifting weights. I've got a phenomenal set of Rogue weights, but they were all over in storage and just not getting used. So took the time, brought those, got them out of hock, out of the storage unit, brought them over, set them up, and started really working out. By July, I was feeling really good, incredible. We went over my birthday weekend last year to Utah, did a little jiu-jitsu course. It was jiu-jitsu in the morning and shooting in the afternoon through Sheepdog and Sheepdog Response, and had a great time out there and realized I still got a long ways to go, because when you're rolling around on a mat with someone your size, you redline. I was redlining quick, so I knew I had a lot more work to do. And so got back from Utah. Next thing you know, it's monsoon season. It's 1,000,000,000 degrees out in the garage workout room, and things just kind of started to go downhill from there. One of the days we had a really heavy rain, and I was standing outside. Next thing you know, it's light enough. I'm gonna run it to the truck because hey, I ran when I was in Utah on the firing range. Had no problems there. Get home, next day I can't walk, and this is really the start of kind of the full year of pain that I've been going through, because we are coming up on the 1-year anniversary of me injuring my knee. It was on July 31st to be a couple weeks from now. And so we're in that butter zone, and now I go see my orthopedic surgeon. He gives me he's like, hey, it's been probably 8-9 months since we've given you a cortisone shot. Let's try and manage it that way. Did the cortisone shot, man, it made it worse. Absolutely just worse. And so from there I had to go to the next step because it was not getting any better. My doctor did an MRI, and that's when the news came out that my knee is shot. And as he put it, I'm a high mileage vehicle. I've run 12 marathons in the past, qualified for Boston, did a lot in my younger years, and a lot of those 70, 80 mile training weeks just basically took its toll on my joints. My neck's not the greatest, my lower back is terrible, and my knees are now officially shot. I was bone on bone, and that was the key, and that's why it was in so much pain, and my cortisone wasn't helping, and we needed to take the next step and get a partial knee replacement. But there's a long line in when you're talking the end of the summer and snowbirds are coming into town, and so um, from July 31st to October 31st is when I had my surgery. It took 3 months to get uh, under the knife. Um, but I'll tell you, when I came out of that surgery, I felt amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Kind of as if you had a new life a new life ready for you and ready to take on the world. And my goal is to get back to working out and get out there and do those things that I had set in completing in 2023, which I didn't really get to do as a result. So 8 weeks, I am feeling like $1,000,000. Uh, Woke up one morning after a physical therapy session, then on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and now my knee's starting to hurt. It's swelling up. It's not looking good. Um, by Thursday, I'm in such extreme pain. I had my wife Lee take me to the emergency room. There's really nothing they could do at the emergency room because it's a joint replacement. They don't like to stick needles in and pull stuff out, um, and so I ended up seeing the surgeon later that afternoon, and he also is of the opinion let's not risk trying to get an infection in there. We think that you probably went a little too hard too fast in physical therapy, and um, that's probably the case. Well, this is 2 weeks before Christmas at this point. Almost exactly 2 weeks. We had a family trip vacation scheduled to go to Europe on Christmas Day. That was now in jeopardy. All the money that we paid for, all the excursions and everything we were going to do while we were over there, everything's already been paid for, and I can barely walk. And I'm feeling, this is where my mental side really started taking a downturn because I was felt like I was letting my entire family down. This is my wife's 50th birthday present, and here I am. I can't walk, and life sucks for me. But they're good, so they're all good. So, but what we ended up doing is we didn't cancel the trip. We kept going. Um, and I made arrangements. We were in business class, so I could lay out already. So all of that stuff was already in place. British Airways was fantastic once we got to London. They wheeled me all the way through, basically through the entire airport at Heathrow, so that we could go catch our car and get to the other airport so we could get to Poland. And then, it was all vacation mode since then. After that, we hit several different cities. We started out in Krakow, went to Warsaw, and then after Warsaw, we went to Berlin. Berlin, we went to Paris. Paris, we went to London, and then we came home after London. Um, I'm going to say, looking back now, I don't know how I did that trip because what we found out in March just kind of blew the top off of everything. And the working theory that we worked too hard at physical therapy was not the case at all. Um, we got back from Europe, and that kind of ended on a somber note as well. So while we were checking into the hotel in London, it's 5 o'clock in the evening there, and 10 a.m. here in Tucson time, and we get a phone call that my mother-in-law has passed away while she was at dialysis, her dialysis appointment during the day. And so, that kind of it was just another spiral in the mental state of the kid, man. And kid was not in a great place, uh, from basically there on. So not only are we dealing with the death of my mother-in-law, we're dealing with the fact that I can't walk. It's getting worse. I'm now using a walker after we get home, and slogging through just every day, going to work, trying to just get through the day. And I will tell you, it was hard. It was hard just to get through work. I can tell you, I don't remember a lot from January through March. Um, we get to a certain point, and I'm at one of my follow-ups with my surgeon, and I'm like, something's got to give. We've got to look at this from a different lens, different perspective, and find out what's going on, because it is not getting better. He agreed, and he actually, when they took the X-rays while I was in the office, he saw some things that he didn't like. It looked as though the part inside the knee had been moving and kind of scraping away at the bone, and kind of failed. And so to confirm that, we got another MRI. Went down, got it, and the next thing I know, I'm in surgery the following week. It was that serious. He wanted me in there. He wanted to get that part out of there, and he canceled some other surgeries so that he could do that. This is where things went totally sideways for me mentally, and I just kind of lost track of football in between. It's hard to believe, as a super fan, that you could do that, but there was just so many things that hit me and my emotions all at once, and made it really, really difficult. Came out of surgery, well, during surgery, let's start there. My IV came out, and I woke up during surgery, and that was just a nightmare in itself. Now, I can't say that I was in pain, because I wasn't. They give you a spinal block before the surgery, so you're pretty much numb from the waist down. However, he is hammering into my femur, and during the surgery, at the point when I woke up, and I could feel it all the way down into my hip bone, with every strike of the hammer that he hit. I swear to God, I think he's using Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. It felt like he was doing construction on my leg, and carpentry work. Again, it wasn't painful, but the sensation of being partially under anesthesia, awake. You've got this tarp over you. It was surreal. They end up getting my IV back in. I'm back out. I wake up, and I think we were we weren't in the recovery. No, maybe we were in the recovery room still. My wife was sitting there, and she asked me, "Did they tell you?" I said, "Did they tell me what?" "Did they tell you that the reason the part failed is because you had an infection?" And that is where I lost it right there. This is something in my body just does not agree with me, or I've got some hidden infection inside me, because this is now the third time that I've had surgery since 2018 where I've gotten an infection. 2018, I had a little minor knee surgery. It was, they just fixed a torn meniscus, and that one resulted in an infection 5, 6 weeks later. And I had to get a PICC line for 6 weeks, do antibiotics 3 times a day for 6 weeks. It was awful. 2020, I had major abdominal surgery. They removed about 1.5 feet of my colon. 4 months after that surgery, I end up with a bone infection in my jaw, and I've got to do 6 weeks of PICC line IV antibiotics again. And so, for this to be number 3 was really, it was painful for me. Just, I felt like Nancy Kerrigan. Why? It just, it's like, I just can't have nice things. I don't know. And to complicate the matter, because there was an infection inside there, he couldn't do the full surgery. I had to go under the knife one more time to finish the surgery. All they could do was prepare the partial knee replacement for the full knee replacement, which they did. But they can't put any metal into the joints because that's something the infection feeds on. So how do you get an infection? The crazy part is there's no openings. The wound never opened. Nothing. It was sealed shut from day one. And then 2 months later, it just shows up, and here we are, and I've got a raging infection, bone infection in my knee, and so I spent it. My surgery was the Thursday before Easter. I spent Easter weekend in the hospital, and met probably one of the. I'm gonna say he was put in my room for a reason. The guy was a Major League Baseball player, probably about 4 or 5 years younger than I am. He, was drafted by the Red Sox, was in the process of getting called up from the Red Sox back in the 90s when he was playing AAA ball, and he slid into second base. Shortstop landed on his back and broke his collarbone on both sides and ended his baseball career. He's ended up moving back to Arizona about a year and a half ago, got in a car accident, and as a result of the car accident, had his legs badly broken. But because of diabetes, he could never get that infection under control, and he ended up losing his left leg and all the toes on his right leg. I will tell you, he is the most upbeat person I have ever met. When you talk to somebody who's dealt with those tragedies, and he is just nothing but seeing the good of everything in every side. He was my roommate, and he was there for getting a biopsy on a liver or kidney biopsy, and so I hope all is gone well with him. I'm going in the process of trying to find him. He is a pastor here in town, and so I do plan on heading to his church and stopping by and saying hi and seeing how he's doing, because I'd like to sit down and just talk to him some more, because he was a great individual. But hearing that story of how diabetes is just kind of the infestation zone for your infection. It's an endless buffet for your infection, and that's what I run into prior to my surgery. One of the key things that they pointed out to me in March was my A1C was 8.3. Before that, I'd gotten it tested, and it was like 6.2, 6.3. In that range. It was basically borderline. You are type 2 diabetic. You better watch it. But it was low. I didn't really think much of it back then. Now I think a lot about it. We are attacking it. We are managing it with medication right now because I can't exercise. And I think one of the problems was I had been exercising so long before that. When I injured myself and stopped exercising, I didn't transition to a lower caloric diet, or basically I kept eating the sugars the way I would eat sugar, and that was not ideal. And so my blood sugar got out of control, and it went from like 6.2 to 8.3 in my A1C. I'm happy to report that as of this surgery that we had on the 10th, a week ago, my A1C, when I took it on my pre-op blood work, was 5.3. And I'm very proud of that, super proud of that. it it shows a lot that you can manage. A lot of this might be because infection related stuff, because I've been diabetic, and because I haven't been working out like I did 15, 20 years ago when I was running 90 miles a week, and I didn't stop eating like I was running 90 miles a week, and got fat, and my blood sugars. I've got my little Libre pen on right now, and just before lunch it was, it's in the 110s and 105, and it kind of fluctuates throughout the day. It is cool to look at, so you can see what's going on. But I'm not a doctor. I'm going to let my doctor, obviously manage this, but we are going in the right direction. And one of the other reasons the surgery was such a success is they sent bone fragments out for biopsy, and they all came back negative, and so the infection is gone. Am I still on antibiotics? Absolutely. I still got an open wound. A couple of the setbacks that we've had throughout this little transition period in the first week is, apparently I have too much range of motion, and which has not been good. I popped a stitch, and on Sunday, right before that huge storm came through Tucson, and tornadoes and what have you, and sideways rain, uh, and but I was bleeding profusely, and just so, and then did a wound check the next day at the doctor's office. They looked at it and just said, "Hey, here, we're going to put some steri strips on it. I want it to just scab up, and it'll get better." But then yesterday, same thing happened. A little bit lower, a little bit further down, but I've got it. Got more steri strips on it, and we're going to let this dry out and hopefully just get this gone. But I am on antibiotics for a very long time. Right now, the current course is I'll be on twice a day through at least September, I believe, or maybe even later. Actually, probably towards the end of the year. Once we get to the end of the year, then we'll make an assessment if if the infectious disease doctor wants to go to once a day, or none a day at all, just based off of the biopsies from the surgery were very promising. So, again, that shows that I got diabetes under control. I didn't leave a buffet in there for an infection to live. And we also eradicated it with IV antibiotics and now pill antibiotics. And so we're doing the right things. I'm working. I start physical therapy on Monday. I just want to get this knee. I got to get this knee better, and I got to get back to working out. And we've got a lot of really cool things coming up, and so that's why I want to get this vlog going, because you're going to see some changes here at KNP Studios. We just recently got this room done. This is our office / my studio room. I'm filming this on the X360. This camera is incredible. Insta360. I love this thing. Tiny. You can do it does a full 360 degrees. Right now I'm just on the one camera view, and so I really like this. This is cool. And I want to kind of give you the updates on what's going on weekly with the recovery aspect of not only my knee, but as now football starts next week, and I'm starting to get excited again. This is where the kid in me comes out, and I'm really starting to get excited. I just want to get this knee fixed. I want to get the season started, and I want to enjoy some football. Even though with the seating fiasco that we had with relocations and learning a new area and learning about my new seats. I don't even know where they are. I haven't been over in that part of the stadium, in 20 years. Cripe, I've been sitting front row in the south end zone for so damn long. Except for that inaugural season, that's the only one. So I wanted to get this out there, kind of, as I start exercising. I'm gonna get those workouts out there and how the knee is progressing throughout. There's gonna be a lot of biking in there because I don't think I'll ever run. I probably never run again. We're gonna have to see how the knee feels, but I also got the right knee is not the greatest in the world either. So there was some meniscus there. I don't know if it's how it is, and if it's taken a beating because it's taken a year for me to get to my third surgery almost, so it's and I got a full year recovery. We're also doing remodeling on the property. I've got my whole garage is getting a massive makeover tomorrow. We're going and I'm going to film that. That's going to be my workout room. Is in our garage. We're setting aside a huge space in there. We're putting in a mini split air conditioner as well. It is going to be a top-notch workout facility. I'm probably going to have a cooling tub in there, maybe a sauna. I don't know yet, but we are going. It's going to be first class in that workout room. I'm going to have to go break out the rest of the stuff the rest of my Rogue equipment out of storage, and so that we can get that all installed and working, so that when my knee is ready for those activities, the gym is ready for those activities. And so that's where we are today. So I wanted to, again, I'm going to start doing these. We're going to start out weekly. As stuff happens, with construction of the house or in like the garage flooring, this weekend. I'll probably put up another video here in a few days with that process and when the company's done, and give you the before, after, or before, during, and after views of it. It's going to be cool. I'm super excited for this. So I'm super excited for football. I'm super excited to get my knee life back in the game. Mentally, I am back, baby. I am back. The kid, baby. We're gonna make the Cardinals great again, baby. We're gonna do it. I said it. I was gonna be political, but we're gonna make Cardinals great again. And Kyler Murray is that man that we're gonna follow. And I'm super stoked about Marvin Harrison Jr. I cannot wait to watch him in action. He is something special. Just his interview on Hard Knocks when the Giants when they were interviewing him was interesting. He's I swear to God, it's Larry Fitzgerald. He is Larry Fitzgerald Part 2, and we know how that turned out. It was fantastic. So, all right, I'm going to wrap this up, and knee's going well. Had a couple little minor setbacks, but hey, I will get back with you next week as we start going through physical therapy. It's that time, and we're gonna get this knee right, and we're gonna get this knee cranking away, baby. Thank you for listening to this. If I could get a like, subscribe, anything. I know this is going to be a long haul to get this, but as we go through the football season and we start putting out vlogs every single week with all the prep work up to the tailgate and then the recap of the tailgate, I think it's going to be fun, and you're going to see a lot of cool stuff. I've got my Ford Lightning all set up, ready for tailgating. It's got Starlink satellite internet on it, so we're going to have the fastest internet at the stadium, because Nate also has a Starlink as well, and we're all going to be primed and ready to go and have TVs rolling with all the morning games. So KNP fam, we got a lot coming up, baby. We got a lot coming up, and I'm looking forward, and I am stoked about the upcoming season and what we're going to do. I'm not going to be traveling as much because I got to get this knee better, but if I do travel, it's going to be either to Carolina or Miami, one of those two. They're later in the season, and so I want to get deeper into the season so that I can get just more time and stability on this knee. It feels fantastic right now. I do not want to jinx nothing, so we are knocking on some wood, and we are going to get this ball going. So hey, we are less than a week from football. Go Cards.